The locker hinges groaned in protest. Chloe stood in the center of the crowded hallway, her smile triumphant as she held the papers high for all to see. They were supposed to be in the shredder. They were my letters. Letters to Preston. Now they were just ink on cheap copy paper, plastered on every bulletin board, taped to lockers, fluttering like pale ghosts from the ceiling tiles. The air tasted of chalk, dust, and cruelty. Whispers coiled around me like smoke, hissing words I knew by heart. Freak. Pervert. A disgusted silence fell over Preston's corner of the hall. He wouldn't even look in my direction. His rejection was a physical blow, colder than I'd ever imagined. In that suffocating quiet, a memory not my own sliced through the panic. A future of eviction notices, a mother's fading breath, a factory siren wailing into an empty sky, and a final, desperate leap from a bridge into darkness. The noise of the present slammed back. I blinked. Chloe's smug expression was frozen, mid-gloat. The clock on the wall read the same time it had 5 minutes ago. It wasn't a dream. It was a second chance. A strange calm settled over me. This time, the script would be different. I stepped forward, my movement breaking the tableau. In one swift motion, I plucked the original crumpled letter from Chloe's hand. The students watched, a collective breath held. Then I turned. My gaze swept past Preston's stony profile, past the sea of curious and hostile faces, and landed on a figure slouched in the far corner by the window. The morning light cut across him, highlighting the sharp angles of his face. His name was Asher. "You're all looking in the wrong place," I said, my voice steady, cutting through the murmur. I held up the letter. This wasn't for Preston. It's for my boyfriend. I pointed directly at Asher. The whispering stopped dead. 100 heads swiveled in unison, a wave of attention crashing toward the window. Asher slowly lifted his chin. His hair, dark and slightly too long, fell across his forehead, but it couldn't obscure the sharp, assessing look in his eyes. He radiated a quiet, untouchable intensity, the kind that kept people at a careful distance. The room waited. His sexuality was an open secret. On the first day of freshman year, the story had spread. A violent confrontation over an ex-boyfriend. Nobody pressed him for details. They just gave him space. Asher's gaze met mine, held for a beat that stretched into eternity, then slid indifferently away. He offered no confirmation, no denial. Just that familiar, practiced apathy. Doubt immediately swiveled back to me. I could feel it hot and prickling. Chloe recovered first, her cheeks flushed. Since when? Why wouldn't he say anything? I kept my eyes on her, remembering another lifetime. Chloe, the most popular girl in our year, had been dared by her friends to ask Preston out. His refusal had been polite but firm. She'd been walking away when she overheard someone say, "Chloe's pretty, sure, but she's no Leo." And Preston had just laughed, saying he hated comparisons. From that moment, I'd become her target. "Chloe," I said, my tone flat, "I don't owe you an explanation. Believe what you want. But going through my private things? That's just rude." A shift rippled through the crowd. My calm was more convincing than any frantic denial. Someone muttered about privacy, about stolen property. Chloe's confidence visibly wavered under the sudden scrutiny. The spectacle of the letters began to fade, replaced by murmurs about her actions. I looked down, a bitter taste in my mouth. The irony was a live wire. For Asher, his preferences were just another facet of his formidable, untouchable persona. For me, the driver's son, Preston's scholarship shadow, it would have been a death sentence. Preston hadn't said a word. I'd seen the journey on his face. Shock, then revulsion, and now, as the story shifted to Asher, a confused, simmering anger. In advanced calculus, the professor droned on about optimization problems. I hadn't eaten, and a sharp ache bloomed in my stomach. I must have gone pale because the person next to me shifted. A warm breakfast sandwich and a carton of orange juice slid silently onto my desk. Asher. He was there, though I hadn't seen him arrive. He tilted slightly, showing me the identical sandwich in his own bag. I took it, the warmth seeping into my cold fingers. A stern voice cut through the lecture. A hall monitor stood in the doorway, having seen the exchange. He marched over, snatched the sandwich from my hand, then flushed when he realized his mistake. He grumbled something about cafeteria rules and stalked off. Snickers and curious glances followed us. Someone whispered, "Okay, that's actually kind of cute." I stared at my textbook, the numbers blurring. Last time they hadn't used that word. Preston cornered me outside the lab. His frustration was a tangible force. Break it off with him. You really want your dad finding out you're gay? Be smart. Move your stuff back to our room. I just looked at him. Why do you care, Preston? The whole school thinks I am. You want me, a gay guy, as your roommate? Won't that look interesting? What would your parents say? He flinched, his plans crashing against the reality of perception. I pressed my advantage, the lesson from a harder life sharp on my tongue. Let's say Chloe had found a letter addressed to you. Would you have stood by me? Or would you have wanted me gone? His silence was the only answer I needed. Let's just keep our distance. It's better for both of us. My father's retirement was approved. After I secured my graduate spot, my parents would move to a quiet lakeside town in Maine. When I hung up the phone, a weight I'd carried for 2 lifetimes finally lifted. To thank Asher, I asked him to join my research competition team. His competence was a revelation. Quiet, methodical, brilliant. We became a seamless unit, our project gaining momentum until we stood on the national stage, accepting the gold medal. I threw my arms around him. We did it. Grad school is happening. He just smiled, a rare, quiet thing. Summer arrived, humid and heavy. We traveled for campus visits. Our last stop was an Ivy League school in the same city. The night before the entrance exam, I walked Asher home. The neighborhood was old and quiet, the air thick with the scent of magnolias. A spectacular peach and lavender sunset smeared across the sky. I stopped him at his front gate. Seeing the shadow in his eyes, I reached out and ruffled his hair. After the test, I'll take you to Maine. My parents would love to have you. His eyes brightened for a fleeting second. Then he gently pushed my shoulder. You should go study. See you tomorrow. I turned to leave, stopping at a corner bodega for a bottle of water. 2 elderly men were discussing the local paper. Here he's back in town, one said, shaking his head. Poor kid. Never stands a chance when that man's drinking. My hand tightened on the plastic bottle. The newspaper headline screamed about rising graduate admissions. And then, a memory, clear as yesterday. A news ticker on a hospital TV. Local student assaulted by father, misses critical exams. Suspect released pending investigation. The pieces, ignored hints from another life, locked together. The occasional bruises Asher explained away. The careful way he positioned himself to hear. The profound quiet that sometimes enveloped him. My blood ran cold. I dropped the water and ran. I sprinted through the dusky streets, my lungs burning. The large, colonial-style house loomed. I hammered on the heavy oak door. No answer. I was about to smash a sidelight when the door jerked open. Asher stood there, a fresh bruise coloring his cheekbone, his lips split. He held himself stiffly, a portrait of stubborn defiance. But when his eyes met mine, that wall of resistance shattered. He looked utterly lost. A man's voice, smooth but edged with liquor, called from inside. Asher? Who's there? Asher tried to step in front of me. I held his wrist firmly. A man appeared, his dress shirt untucked, a glass in his hand. Good evening, sir, I said, my voice deliberately respectful. Professor Vance asked all the candidates for the Ivy program to come to a last-minute review session tonight. He sent me to get Asher. Mr. Stone's eyes narrowed, moving between us. A review session? Or an excuse? I held out my phone, the professor's number already dialed. I put it on speaker. Mr. Stone? Sorry to bother you at home. Just hoping Asher can join us. We're all here trying to boost our chances for the school. The professor's voice was earnest, academic. Faced with this veneer of legitimate scholastic effort, Mr. Stone's pride couldn't permit a refusal. He waved a dismissive hand. Fine. Don't be late. I pulled Asher out into the cooling night. He was silent, stunned. He never just lets me go. He couldn't say no to your professor, I murmured, guiding him toward the downtown lights. Not without looking bad. I'd booked a room near the testing center. Inside, Asher hovered near the door while I dug out antiseptic wipes and ointment. After I'd tended to his wounds and we'd eaten takeout in focused silence, the room grew dark. His breathing in the other bed was too controlled. Asher, I whispered, you're still awake. He shifted. His voice, when it came, was tight with a fear that wasn't for himself. You shouldn't have come. What if he'd hurt you? What if I ruined this for you? I didn't answer directly. Can you tell me about your hearing? The quiet stretched. Then, slowly, he began to speak. His mother died when he was born. A succession of indifferent nannies. Then, when he was 7, his father brought home a new partner. She was kind in public, monstrous in private. The neglect turned to violence. On his 8th birthday, feverish with flu, she dragged him from bed for some perceived slight. The slap had been severe, damaging something deep inside his ear. He threw her out, Asher said, his tone devoid of emotion. Not because he loved me, because she damaged his property. My heart ached a physical pain. This boy, who'd been broken so young, had been the only one to offer a hand when my world ended. I got out of my bed and sat on the edge of his, finding his hand in the dark. His fingers curled tightly around mine. I'm not going anywhere, I said. He let out a shaky breath. Don't make promises you can't keep. Try me. The exam was a blur of focus. Afterwards, I kept my promise and took him to Maine. My parents welcomed him with open arms. My dad, now retired and relaxed, taught him how to cast a fishing line. My mom, her health improved by the salt air, fed him until he protested. One night, we lay on a blanket in the grassy dunes, staring at a Milky Way so clear it felt tangible. This feels impossible, Asher murmured, his voice full of quiet wonder. I rolled onto my side, looking at him. About that whole fake boyfriend arrangement, he tensed, starting to sit up. We should head back. Asher, I said, catching his arm. Some decisions don't need a lot of time. Do you want to make it real? He went very still. Then he turned, and the stunned hope in his eyes was brighter than all the stars above. The acceptance emails arrived during a senior class dinner at a downtown grill. Congratulations were offered. Now tinged with a newfound respect, I found both hollow and satisfying. Preston was there, his expression stormy. We'd once talked about Stanford together. During a game of truth or dare, the bottle landed on me. Chloe's table was whispering. The dare was announced. Kiss the person to your left for 3 seconds. Asher was on my left. The room erupted. He looked at me, confused by the noise, tired of the spectacle of their stares, and wanting to wipe the satisfaction from certain faces. I simply cupped his cheek and pressed my lips to his. It was brief, chaste. The room exploded in a new wave of shouts. Asher's ears turned scarlet, but he laced his fingers through mine and didn't let go. Preston shattered his glass against the brick wall. Leo! Outside. Now. In the alley, the noise of the city a distant hum, he was unraveling. What is this? Your dad quits, you change schools, you're just cutting us out? There is no us, Preston, I said. Our families had a business arrangement. That's over. We were never friends. Yes, we were. He insisted, a desperate anger in his voice. I thought of the coldness in my past life. I have the right to choose my friends. I don't choose you. He grabbed my arm. The letter. It was for me, wasn't it? I slowly turned back. What if it was? Hope flared in his eyes. Would you walk back in there right now? I asked softly, and tell everyone you're in love with me? That you're gay? The hope died. His grip loosened. He couldn't. He never could. I left him there in the dim light. New campus, new start. Asher chose to double major in pre-law. He told me he wanted to be a shield for people who had none. I studied psychology, wanting to understand the silent wounds my brave, complicated partner carried. He was approached his first week by a classmate. Instead of deflecting, he simply said, "I'm gay, and I'm seeing someone." Word got out. Soon, we were a minor curiosity on campus. On a walk through the autumn leaves, I finally asked about the infamous high school ex-boyfriend. He laughed, a real free sound. That was a mess. When my dad would lose it, I'd say anything to make him angrier. That I was gay, that he'd never have grandkids, that any future sibling would be born without certain anatomy. He shook his head. A kid from school heard the rumors, got bullied, and asked me for help. To be his boyfriend as a shield. Couldn't say no. The story just mutated from there. He stopped walking, pulling me close. "Are you jealous?" "Of course not," I said too quickly. A slow smile spread across his face. He reached up and deliberately removed his hearing aid, tucking it into his pocket. "Good," he said, his voice dropping. "I hope your nerve holds." Years later, we were living abroad for our doctoral programs. I went to pick up his newest high-tech hearing aids. The audiologist, an older man, was chatty. He said, "I've seen many patients with similar challenges. The psychological toll is often significant. But Mr. Stone, he's remarkably well-adjusted." I asked him his secret once. He said someone picked up the pieces. I've always wondered what he meant. I smiled. The simple. He was breaking apart. I was there to gather the fragments. Love isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about deciding the pieces they have are the ones you want to hold on to forever. Back home, Asher took over his family's foundation, steering its funds toward legal aid groups. I built a career in my field. I saw Chloe at a professional conference. She recognized me, flushed with a mixture of shame and gratitude. She apologized for high school. She also thanked me for intervening one night years ago, when she and a friend were being harassed. I had no memory of it. It had just been a dark street, two scared faces. "Just be kinder," I said. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a closing of the book. Preston appeared across a corporate boardroom table. He was an investor. His eyes never left me, a complex brew of regret and entitlement. I heard he was engaged, a merger of family fortunes. I felt nothing. The meeting ended. I gathered my things and walked out without a backward glance. For our anniversary, Asher reserved the entire observation deck of a skyscraper restaurant. The city glittered below, a mirror to the stars above. As the sun set in a familiar wash of peach and lavender, he got down on one knee. The ring was simple, a band of platinum etched with a subtle, continuous line. "My starfinder," he whispered, sliding it onto my finger. I looked at our joined hands, then at the horizon where the sky met the past. I saw two boys with backpacks, walking shoulder to shoulder down a quiet street, stepping out of the shadows and into the light. We had pulled each other from the depths. We had chosen to be each other's shelter. A life built that way, I thought as his arms wrapped around me, has to be a happy one.